All right. Good afternoon. I know I'm not there yet. I got to get the stuff up here. But I wanted to say good afternoon to everybody, get everything going. Oh, we're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. And then, like magic, we're going to appear. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until 5 o'clock, somewhere around there. I gotta go to do something today. Typically at around 5 o'clock. You know me. If it's anywhere between like 1 and 3, I'm checking out Wyatt. Wyatt say I did not send him an invite yesterday, but I did. I sent him an invite. I would show it to y'all, but I'm not trying to, unless he say, oh, it's all right to put my email out there. Because I don't know if I got an email that everybody don't have and he don't put out there. So I wouldn't just put his email out. Without his permission. And I like going back and forth with Wyatt. So, but I know some of y'all like, bro, we don't watch Wyatt. We don't even know what you're talking about. You come on here every day talking about Wyatt this, Wyatt that. Well, hopefully it encourages you to check him out. Number one. You don't have to agree with him, but just different streams of thought, I guess. And I got him on here, kind of keeping an eye on it, because I know there are people who watch his show who also cross over and watch this show. And I'll be trying to see what's gonna happen. But I watch this stuff like how some of y'all watch some Tyler Perry stuff. I watch some of this stuff like some of y'all watch some Tyler Perry stuff. I want to know what's going on. But I do want to say this, and of course this ain't about Wyatt. But this is, one of the things, like, look, y'all got to understand that I understand this. I didn't always understand it, but I do understand it. I've understood it for a minute, but like I said, I didn't always understand it. When you get on a talk platform, almost every talk platform, hold on, let me take this out my ear. I'm not. If you think that. Sorry about that. Almost every talk platform. If you say something that people don't like, people gonna attack you. Some people gonna disagree with you. Some people are gonna attack the idea, the premise that you're throwing out. And then some people are gonna personally attack you. They don't have to know you. And then, you got crazy people out here. And so some people, they can agree with what you're saying. They still gonna attack you because they got that almost that stalker mentality. Like they really want your attention. Like, how some of y'all come in and you say, hey, how you doing, Emanuel? I'm so-and-so from Avondale. Some people, yeah, and your mama look like us. And you like, whoa, I just said hi. They don't actually dislike you. They don't hate you. None of that kind of stuff. They just want your attention. That's it. To you, you are somebody to them, and they want whatever connection they can get with you. If that connection is positive, they'll take it. If it's not, and usually you'll find that it's the people who don't have a lot of substance, are the ones who just, all they got is just negativity to throw. It just is what it is, and you just kind of get used to it. And you figure out, who the sane people, who the crazy people, who you gonna interact with, who you not gonna interact with, who you can interact with sometimes, and who you have to ignore other times. It's just the way it is. And Wyatt was saying, like, when he come on my show, he can't win. Like, he can't win no argument, because he'll start typing stuff and then people attack him for the way he typed it. Like, why are you putting quotation marks around stuff? I could see that. I could see that. He like, yeah, but they, my people don't do that. And I'm like, bro, yes, your people do. Your people do that. Your people go just as hard as everybody else. I told y'all know we was doing a show together. And I suggested, y'all remember this, it wasn't too long ago, the street takeovers. And I said to people taking over the streets, instead of just looking to arrest them, why don't we find a place where they can do that? And some lady, I don't remember who she was, some lady, start sending in stuff like, I pray that your kids don't get killed. And I'm like, what? Where did that come from? And we all know when people say stuff like that. We all know when people say stuff like that, they're not actually praying that your kid don't get killed. Why would that even come up out of nowhere? That's one of those, watch your back type of things. So, it is what it is. People attack people who they disagree with. People attack people who view things differently. Some people are more overt with their attack. Some people are more, I think they call it passive aggressive. Some people are more, I think it's really passive aggressive to hope that something bad happened to somebody's family by saying, I pray don't nothing happen to your family. You know what I'm saying? But it happens on all platforms. I get attacked on Lincoln's show. I do some attacking on Lincoln's show, but it's all in good fun. I get attacked when I go over there to Wyatt. I get attacked over here. And if you come in here and people perceive you, like a beehive. It's a beehive. And if you're an outsider trying to come into the beehive, the people who perceive themselves as the workers or the drones or whatever, I don't know the difference between the two. They got to get you out. They attack. That's the way it happens. That's the way it happens. It's not necessarily good that it happens that way, but it is real that it happens that way. But, yeah, I had to defend my people. Y'all are ornery bunch. But I don't know that y'all any more ornery than anybody else's bunch. I didn't actually perceive that he was attacking y'all. He was just saying it. Because, look, if you ask me, I would say the people who check out this show are fairly reasonable people. And they'll challenge you. But they don't go overboard with the attacking. But then every once in a while, I'll be looking at the comments like, damn, why can't y'all just disagree? You know what I'm saying? Why you got to be attacking people? Why can't you just disagree? So, it kind of go both ways. I'm protective of my people. All right, look like we starting to get people in. We're starting to get people in. I don't know that I'm going to say all the highs today. Now I got to go through and say my highs. Robert Willis, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for supporting the show. Who's this? Maria Smith. Oh, let me put this up. Maria Smith, representing North College Hill. Thank you. Anthony Prosser, representing Clifton. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Nick Brown. Good afternoon. Checking in from beautiful Blue Ash. Terry Anderson. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mike Ballard, Sr. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Brent Beard, Dallas, Texas, representing Dallas, Texas with them 3-inch heels on. Good afternoon. Let's see. See, there's somebody attacking me for nothing. I'm just here saying hello, and I'm getting attacked. The only guy I know that does so much and never completes anything, just because you don't see all the stuff I complete, don't mean I don't complete stuff. Uh, Miss Pittsburgh, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Dwayne, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I think I heard that little baby upstairs. I heard the little baby upstairs. Uh, I can't always take drop. He don't really listen. Mount Airy. Let me tell you this about Drop Squad 52. He like to kind of put himself out there like he's some sort of, he understand media. He does not understand media. Almost everything that he says about media, the opposite is true. He was telling Wyatt, that's why when you listen to a show like, talking about the radio station, first he said radio is dead. That's just not true. People been writing the obituary of radio for I don't know how long, and it's just keep enduring. And it's gonna be there. So that's not true. What was I saying? I'm sorry, I just got the text from the little baby can text me now. The little baby can text me now. So the little baby upstairs, she just texts me that she's upstairs. Oh boy. But yeah, he said if people on the radio won't let people like him on the radio, that's why they got call screeners. It's the exact opposite. If you are a person who, and this to a large degree goes on both sides of the spectrum. If you are a person who disagrees with the host of the show, you got a much better chance of getting in. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on. All right. I love you too. All right. But yeah, if you disagree with the host, you got a much better chance of getting on much faster and staying on much longer. Maybe not so much with Lincoln Ware, but with most other hosts, you disagree with the host, you almost bound to get bumped to the top of the line and get more time. I mean, think about it. When Ron D calls in, or Ron Omega, or whatever name he going by for the day, I like going back and forth with him. I like it. Sometimes, because I'm a listener. Like, okay, I didn't know that. I learned something. Or, I like busting him up. Either way it go, I like that dynamic. Drop Squad calls in trying to convert everybody to be Republicans. I like that. Because I like busting up his little, nonsensical arguments. I like that. So, yeah. For the most part, that's the way it works. So he does not understand media. Almost everything he says, if he says it, it's the opposite. Almost everything he says, it's the opposite. Miss Pittsburgh, she says, I just left Wyatt's show. It was a good one. Hell of a show. I enjoyed it. Good afternoon, Chelsea. And she says, Happy Veterans Day. Thank you. Pamela says, good afternoon from North College Hill. All right, Pamela. Britt Beard says, vanilla ice cream. I'm going to just leave that there. I ain't got nothing to say about vanilla ice cream. Nothing. Even though I will say, I can guarantee you that little baby was not paying attention to the Lincoln Ware show today. And she texted me. And this is what she texted me. I kid you not. I got you some ice cream. The little baby brought me some ice cream. It was just meant to be. It was just meant to be. Hold on, I hear something beeping. Um, TC, TC, what's up? Um, let's see. Mikado says no notification today. No notification today. Regina says, and we back. Good afternoon. Andre says, was the theme jumping people today? Y'all talked about on the radio, and then you and your brother was jumping Wyatt. First, I didn't talk on the radio today. I don't know what you're talking about. Secondly, I didn't jump nobody. I didn't jump nobody. Wyatt came for me, and I found myself agreeing with him, but not understanding why he thinks that I think his terminology was he went in on me. And I'm like, no, I didn't go in on you. I actually made the same point that you be saying all the time because I agree with that point. The point I was making yesterday was it's all the same. It ain't black, it ain't white, it ain't Republican, it ain't Democrat. Democrats don't care for black people. Republicans don't care for black people. One is just more overt. It doesn't mean even that they hate you more. It just means they're overt. I'm sorry, Pamela. I say, wow. Pamela says, wow, I didn't know I moved to North College Hill. Ain't that what it said? Did I misread what you said? Oh, North Avondale. Oh, my bad. See what I'm saying? I make one little mistake and I get attacked. Just straight attacked. People asking about my shirt. It's actually a corduroy shirt. It's a corduroy shirt. Yes. I got two of them. I got this one and I got my kind of buttercream color one. I need to get some more. I like these. Number one, I like the weight of them. And I like the way they fall. And the reason I like the weight of them, just because I like the weight of them, but also because it's not hot enough for a jacket for me, but it's too cool for just a shirt. And these shirts are like the perfect, for me anyway, kind of in between. It's a nice little corduroy shirt. Yeah, I'm not ashamed of my corduroy shirt. See, I'm getting attacked by the people watching my show for my fashion choices. It happens. Nat Turner, good afternoon. Daryl, good afternoon. Let's see. Mary, good afternoon. Checking us out from White Oak. Ron, good afternoon. We got Tria in the house. Good afternoon. Pamela trying to justify herself, I guess, attacking why. I didn't actually see nobody saying nothing about his quotation marks. I just heard him mention it. So I thought the quotation mark question was odd. I figured that he meant he was quoting what someone said, either himself or another person. Stephanie trying to pick a fight with me all day. Stephanie, here is how it goes. I have no idea who the lady was who was wishing death on my family. I don't know who she was. It went down because Stephanie didn't know. So I'm going to tell y'all. I was talking about the street shutdowns. I said they should find a place for them to do it. Wyatt didn't agree. A number of the listeners didn't agree with that, which is cool. I acknowledged it was dangerous and that I was scared that somebody was going to get hurt or killed. And I didn't want that to happen, and that maybe if it were in a more controlled environment, then that would be good, instead of just giving a whole lot of people records for, just doing entertaining stuff. Some people said they don't want to go to a more controlled environment. They're doing what they want to do. And I was I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't know those people, but Um, I think that put it out there as an option. It's just a thought. And a lady was texting in, I pray that your family don't get killed. What? What are you talking about? And I say, see, Wyatt, somebody on here praying my family don't get killed. And I know what that means. I hope something happened to your family, and then you'll see how bad it is. See, I know there's no reason. There's no reason. Because Mary says, it wasn't wished upon you and your family. Mary, if you and I are talking about our favorite flavor of ice cream, and we disagree, I like vanilla, you like chocolate, and I'm like, well, I pray one of your family don't get killed in a freezer. You're like, where the heck did that come from? I'm not actually praying that your family don't get killed in a freezer. That had it was out of left field. It came from nowhere. So I'm not, when that happens, that's not a sincere, I'm praying that nothing happens to your family. Nobody just sits around during a conversation about ice cream praying that somebody's family don't get killed in a freak ice cream accident. You know what I'm saying? That's some super weird, what they call it, passive aggressive attacks. That's what that is. Y'all can try to fool me if y'all want to. I don't know the lady name, but that's a super weird passive aggressive attack. Now, I didn't say it was Princess Flower. The person used a name, and then they actually called in to say that wasn't what they were saying, but they couldn't really answer why they came up with that. Who was talking about my family getting harmed? Nobody was talking about it. Just out of nowhere, out of the goodness of their heart, they was just praying that nothing happens to my family. Come on. Now, we all know that's super weird. It's exceptionally passive aggressive. So that's what it was. Y'all can try to fool everybody else, but I don't know you to hate you. I don't know you to wish something bad happened to your family. And you don't know me to pray that nothing bad happens to them either, especially out of the blue. Come on, y'all, I might look stupid. You know what I'm saying? I might look stupid. I might even be stupid. But I'm no Ron D. No, I'm just playing, Ron. I'm just playing. Ron about to get mad. I'm just playing. No, I know passive aggressive when I hear passive aggressive. And that's what that was. That's what that was. It was an attack all day. Princess Flower says, what day was this? I don't know. I would have to go back and see, but it was the day that the whole thing about them doing donuts and stuff in the street was going on. It was that day. And me and Wyatt did a show together that day. Or I think Wyatt was doing his show and then he invited me, and so I jumped on his show. Or I don't remember which way it was, but it was we were on the show together. Hold on. How did that comment get pinned? I see McConnell's comment is pinned up here. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Okay. I don't know how that comment got pinned, but it's unpinned. But that was what that was. So yeah, Stephanie been trying to pick a fight with me all day about that. Was that you, Stephanie, that was praying for my kids to die? What? I didn't think that was you. Brent is hoping I don't get no brain freeze. Princess Flower, good afternoon. Representing Fairfield is Brenda. Good afternoon, Brenda. Brian, good afternoon. Nathaniel says, doesn't the Bible say my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge? There's a great need for education and knowledge in the black community. I agree. Ron says, you be attacking me. Usually I don't. I really only attacked you today lightheartedly because you put that up there. I saw that a little earlier. So that I figured I would have to find a way to work a Ron attack into my conversation. I don't really attack you. I just bust you up. There's a difference. Your lack of knowledge and ability to defend your position is not the same as me attacking you. I really just be asking you questions. That's it. And it stumps you every time. That is not my fault. That is not an attack. We might have to define what an attack is. David says, good afternoon, little baby. E-Man, afternoon experiment fam. Calling in from the universe. Good afternoon. He says, your brother went in on Ema quick. Like, damn. Hey, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I don't control him. He don't control me. We have our own opinions. We agree on stuff. We disagree on stuff. Y'all heard it like a whole hour. We went back and forth because he was wrong on that issue 22, even though his side won. That don't mean he was right. The winner is not always right. So, hey. LaDonna says, hey, what's up, LaDonna? Good afternoon. Darren, good afternoon. And Steban, good afternoon. Ross, he's one, he loves my attention. So he attacks me. He just says stuff. And I understand why. I kind of understand why. He loves my attention. Like, he really wants my attention. If I say I like vanilla ice cream, he got some way to turn that into an attack. And, you know, he want me to respond so that, I don't know, I think it might be people around him so he could be like, see, he's talking to me. He's talking to me. See, I am important. Bro, you are important. You don't need me to make you important. You are important. But you don't get my attention just because. But he really wants my attention. Good afternoon, Logic Slayer. Good afternoon. Terry says she's working in Avondale, but repping E-Town. No, you repping Avondale. You repping where you from at the moment, or where you are, not where you from. You repping where you are. Cleopatra Jones in the building. Let's see. Prince of Flower says he calls all the way from Cali. He just be so wrong. I saw where he sent the text. I'll get to it in a minute. I'm scrolling through. Mary says hello to your people. All right. Lonzo, good afternoon. Did she growing up texted? Yeah, she texted me. She brought me some ice cream. She could have just came downstairs and said, grandfather. Mary says she reads lips. Sierra disagrees with what I just said. Of course, I'm way behind. What are you disagreeing with? Tell me so that I can straighten you out. And good afternoon. Shahara. She says, good afternoon to everybody. Happy Friday. She is present. And you know, if ain't nobody attacking me, Myosha gonna be attacking me, and Shahara gonna be attacking me. Myosha attacking me because I'm poor and she's rich. She's a snob, really. And Shahara gonna be attacking me because I'm not Lincoln Ware. She love her some Lincoln Ware. Was that a little girl? That was the little girl. Yeah, little baby mama. She's a little girl. Let me see. Dave Stinger stayed online with Lincoln for a long time. Did he? I heard a little bit of his call. I was kind of in and out when he was on. Joe Madison won't let you get a word in if he disagrees with you. Well, that's not good. I don't believe in that. And I find that most people who are confident in their position, don't have a problem letting people state their opposition. Now, sometimes you have to You know what I'm saying? Depending on who it is and the tactics that they're using, you might have to get in there and do whatever. I'm sorry. I see Tria says, did you tell me hello? I said, good afternoon. I said, Tria's in the house representing. Good afternoon. Yes, I said it. Now Tria trying to attack me too. Y'all trying to lightweight attack me? Come on. Come on. That's just Ross wanting more of my attention. I give you some more attention, Ross. It makes you feel good. He like Halle Berry in what's the movie where she was with it? Make me feel good. Make me feel good. Monsters Ball. Ross Freeman is Halle Berry in Monsters Ball. He just begging me to make him feel good. Make me feel good. Make me feel good, Daddy. See, your comment is up there. I hope you feel good, Hallie. Based on E-Man's comments about drop, they're going to say you are calling names. Look, I'm not against calling names. I do call names. I try to not do it, but I do every once in a while. Nate, hold on a minute. Let me get through these comments real quick, and I get to you. Jeannie, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Princess Flowers says, happy Veterans Day. Thank you. I didn't know you were a veteran. All right. Lonzo says, nobody is keeping guys like Drop 52 off the radio. They wish they were that important. Let me see. Go. I know I saw his. There it is. He says, what's up, Emanuel Livingston? Do black voters matter more in 2024 than they did in 2016? See, stuff like that. Like, that's a stupid question. And to ask a stupid question like that, there has to be some context. See, if it was like a reasonable question, you don't necessarily need context. But when you're going to ask like a stupid question, you know that you need some context for a stupid question. I'm not saying he's stupid. He's just asking a stupid ass question. Let me get Nate in here. Nate.
Good morning, Emanuel.
It is not morning, not even close, but good afternoon.
Let me tell you right off the bat.
Hold on, what's happening?
Time constraint today.
Wait, what's happening with your phone?
I don't know.
It's.
You tell me.
It sounds weird, like it's distorting.
All right, how about now?
I think that sounds better.
All right, let me start by saying I don't have all day to be on this radio today, or on this podcast, or whatever.
All right.
I want to put that on the record. I'm not going to be here all day.
All right.
But I do want to clear up a couple things. First, if it's okay, can we talk about that guy? Now, you encouraged me to watch that guy's podcast, right?
It's a good show.
Not from what I saw today.
Oh, boy.
How can you talk about, I don't even know if I should waste I only got a limited amount of time I can be here with you today.
Well, here, let me say this. It's a good show. You may not agree with him. You may not like the way that he presents the information that he presents, but he's presenting a different thought process, a different position, a different way, a different angle of looking at whatever the situation is. And like I say all the time, I don't always agree with him. I actually, as we talk, I find that I agree with him probably a lot more than I disagree with him, as we talk. But just because, I think that becomes a problem some people have with, shows like, oh, that's not a good show. Well, what makes it not a good show? Because, what he's saying don't make sense to me. But that don't mean the show is not a good show. That just means you don't agree with the host.
Well, I must have used the wrong word because I'm not saying from a technical perspective that it wasn't a good show, or it looked the just visually it would look beautiful. He had a beautiful background. What I'm saying I don't like or didn't like, at least today, is first he said something like, the problem is people talk about hope. They're I forget the word he used. They're hope something.
Hope addicts.
Hope addicts.
Yes.
And I'm not a hope addict. I talk to people about reality and about getting to the money. But then every time the topic of money came up and how is he getting to it and how is he teaching people to get to it, he didn't have no answer. He just went back into criticizing other people. And it's a problem that I have not just with him and not just today. In general, we have too many, we can't, now that we've got podcasts, we're going to have to come up with another term. But that's the problem with radio activists. They got all these bright ideas. They got all these 1,000 words to describe what needs to be done. But when you ask them, what are you doing to make that happen? What is your record of accomplishment? They don't have none. So when your only contribution is calling into the radio or getting up on a podcast saying this and that, if that is nothing wrong with that being all that you do. Don't get me wrong, because I know some people go say, we can't all be out there, we can't all do. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if that's all you do, if all you do is call the radio and talk about what needs to be done and what somebody else should be doing and what somebody else is doing wrong, that's fine. But don't come on no podcast talking about hope addicts and how you against them, and then you ain't got no solutions. So Wyatt says, well, I came up with the idea of a black bank. Number one, you really didn't come up with that idea. That idea has been floating around Black America, not just Cincinnati, for ever since we had.
Now look, hold on, just a second. As we go further into this conversation, I want to be clear about two things. Number one, I love my dear brother. Number two, I support Wyatt. And I am not here as Wyatt's spokesperson. All right? But there's a few things that I will defend Wyatt on. Because I think I understand what you're saying, but I think it's important to say it the right way so that other people understand what you're saying. Because I've long been an advocate for that becomes a part of your undoing because you just say it and other people don't process it the way that you mean it. So you're saying he needs to have some solutions. And I believe what you're saying is if you gonna say you're tired of hope addicts and this is what people should do, you saying then you should have a plan for the people to get the people there. Like you could be worth $180 billion and you could tell me this is all you need to do. But if you don't have a plan to help me get there, it's cool to say you helping me, but you're not really helping me. Am I correct? That's what you're saying.
Yeah. But I think I'm saying a little more than that too.
All right.
I'm saying to just drill down on this black bank thing, I'm saying I told Iris Rowley and the NAACP and the who else did he say? Saying that I told the black activists they need to get to work on this black bank. What did he do? And again, I know I'm not asking you to actually answer this. I'm saying it for the people who listen to his show and are now listening to this show. What did you do to make the black bank a reality? besides just getting up on your podcast and saying it, then going home, putting your pajamas on, and getting back into bed. That's not leadership. And so maybe the answer is he don't want to be no leader. He don't gotta be no leader. His job is just to put it out in the atmosphere, and then somebody else will come pick it up and run with it. They the problems that they didn't pick up on what Wyatt said and make it a reality. So I don't like that.
And just so you know, I do think that would be the argument. I might not be able to, I might just tell you, like, hey, y'all really need to look at this. Like, for example, I'm going to use me. I remember when Christopher Smitherman was snatching up all of the activist organizations and folding them into the big tent of the NAACP. And I knew that was a horrible idea because, I had an idea what was going to happen, right? And I was saying to the people on the radio, like, stop folding up your tent and putting it under the tent of the NAACP, because when everything come down, it ain't gonna be when the NAACP in Cincinnati stop doing what the NAACP in Cincinnati is supposed to be doing, y'all not gonna be there to pick up the slack, and then y'all gonna have to reorganize and basically start from scratch, which means all of the hard work and equity that you put into it is gonna disappear. But I wasn't out there, teaching them this and teaching them. I had good, sage advice for them, but I'm not a leader. And I wasn't trying to be a leader. I was trying to say to the leaders, this is what you shouldn't do. I don't think I was wrong for doing that, even though somebody could have looked at me and said, you ain't doing nothing, you just sitting on the radio. So who are you to tell us what to do? So while I understand what you're saying, I also see it from the other side.
Well, again, I think we are hurt. We being black America, we are hurt because we have too many radio activists, too many radio experts, and not enough actual leaders, not enough producers. So this is another thing that goes not just to Wyatt, but I'm using Wyatt since we on the back of his show. We not piggybacking, but you get what I'm saying. We following his show, and you talked about a lot of what happened on that show, and a lot of people who are watching you watch that show. Now, whether you were for or against selling the choo-choo train to get the $1.6 billion, how do you say you against Hope agents because they didn't secure no agreements for the money before the vote went down, but now that it's done, you say, I'm about showing people how to get to the money. Well, the money is coming unless you and me hook up and complete this plan and put a stop to it. We might get to that later if you feel like it. But how do you not have a plan, Wyatt and the rest of y'all, on how to get to whatever money comes now? Now, what are you going to say the response to that is?
Well, it's not necessary. Again, let me ask you this. Would you say Lincoln Ware is the leader in the black community?
No.
Right. So why do people look at people who put themselves in a forum to look at things, observe them, and share their observations and their knowledge? Why are people looking to them to be leaders?
Actually, I want to retract my answer about Lincoln.
Oh.
Lincoln is an opinion leader, meaning he can sway people's opinions.
That's sadly
true. And Lincoln
true.
is comfortable being an opinion leader. He's comfortable being a radio host. He's comfortable. So what Wyatt did today, and again, I admit, I've only watched him, but I could count on one hand the number of times that I've watched his show. I've never watched a complete episode. So I don't really know if he does this, but what I heard with my own ears today is Wyatt said several times, I'm over here teaching people how to get to the money. So if there are millions of
But
dollars,
wait. Hold on. And I think,
table.
but wait a minute. I think this becomes a part of the issue. And I'm not here again. I'm not a spokesperson for Wyatt. I think it from listening to Wyatt, as long as I have, and I haven't been listening to Wyatt since his inception or anything. But from listening to Wyatt, I think y'all talking about two different things, right? You talking about getting the community to the money. I think Wyatt is talking about getting the people to the money, which don't sound like a big deal or a big difference. And again, this is just my thought. He might express it totally different and say, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I think what Wyatt is saying is, look, I'm giving y'all principles. In y'all individuals who choose to listen to my show and listen to what I have to say, to the advice that I have and to the experiences that I have, I can help you, Nate, get to some money so that forget all of this, the black community this and the black community that and the black people and black activists. Your black ass, I can help your black ass get some money so that you not worried about what they doing, because you're financially secure. And then if you can take that financial security and help other people, then we can rise as a people. But I don't think his advice or the way that he's perceiving helping people get to the money is that activist route of helping people get to the money. It's that if you wanna hear what I got to say, I can help you get to the money. That's the people he talking about.
So your understanding is, and again, we're just using Wyatt as an example.
Yes.
This could be in general. So we gonna encourage or teach or lead individual black people to say, oh, forget about that $1.6 billion. Forget about that $55 million a year that's going to come from the $1.6 billion. We're not focused on that. We're talking about going to get to the other money.
Well, sort of, because again, while you got some people out there focused on getting to the $50-60 million, you got to have some other people over here focused on getting to that other money. Focused on, me and my family and, my people and us as individuals. And you're not going to find the same people to do the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? That would be like, looking at some successful community activists and saying, well, why you ain't helping me get rich? That's not what I'm out here doing. I'm out here helping the people. Now, if you might need to find you somebody that can help you navigate the business landscape in Cincinnati to get to the bag, as they say. But that's not my role. You understand that's the way that I perceive what he's doing.
Arguing just the opposite.
Nah, what?
Yeah, you saying it's not. If you take on the mantle of my job is to help your individual black ass, if you willing to follow me, get to the money.
Right.
And then we both know, hey, guess what? It's a big $55 million pot of money over here. What? And I say, hey, how can I get to that money? And you say, man, don't focus on that money. That ain't what I'm talking about.
No. See, I think you're looking at it different. Maybe the thing wouldn't be, hey, don't focus on that. Because now if you're asking me, how can I get to that money? I'm going to tell you, hold on. This is how that money is going to be distributed in contracts for building this or contracts for developing this. So you need to put yourself together a business plan to, you become a business and a developer, and then that's how you get to that money. But I think
Now,
what I'm perceiving is your people aren't necessarily saying, how can I get to that money? It's how can I get to the money? Now, just for the record, I've heard Wyatt, even during this whole thing with issue 22, talk about who's going to actually get that money and how you can get a piece of that money. But that's
I showed in
wholly,
here and talk about that today.
but that is wholly
I
different
right
than
off
say,
that whole big pot of money.
no. I think you heard it from a different perspective, and that's what I'm saying. Like Lynch is saying, give us reparations. I'm oversimplifying, I'm certain, but Lynch is saying, give us reparations. That's wholly different than somebody saying, look, if you want to get a piece of that money, this is how you go about it, versus give us reparations so that it can filter down to the whole community. Those are both people trying to get to the same pot of money. Those are just two different ways to get to that same pot of money. And I think Wyatt's is the first way.
I think neither one of them, in this particular example, and yes, we are oversimplifying, they're both saying it ain't nothing we can do. They doing just what Wyatt said black people shouldn't be doing. They gloom and doom. When it comes to this money, oh man, the white people gonna get it. 3CDC is gonna get it. We ain't gonna get none of that money. You shouldn't. What's implicit in that is you shouldn't even waste your time trying. I don't hear him talking about going to get your business if you got it. If you got a business, going to get it certified as a minority, as an MBE. I don't hear him talking about getting your business plan into the right hands. All I hear him doing is
I've heard it here.
Politicians is gonna get all the money.
And I understand that, but I just want you to know I've heard him talk about that stuff. And you have to understand, and you know this as a former talk show host yourself, you can't cover every aspect of everything every day. So one day I might be talking about, how bad the police are, and really there's nothing that we can do to, or better yet, I might be talking about how bad violence is in the community. And there is nothing that we're ever going to do to be able to stop the violence. It's going to happen. Young people are going to die on our streets by gun violence. There's nothing we can do about it. But tomorrow I might be talking about parents need to step up and protect your children. I'm still addressing the same issue. Yesterday I was gloom and doom because ain't nothing we can do about it. It's big picture stuff. But when I get more granular, now I'm talking about different aspects of it. Like, parents, what are you doing? How are you raising your children? Schools, what are you doing? And how are we educating the children? And what can we do in the school? You know what I'm saying? And I go through each. So you might, if you listen to that one show where I was talking about ain't nothing we can do, people gonna keep getting shot, the numbers gonna keep going up, it's gonna get worse and worse. You're like, damn, he just is gloom and doom with him. But I think you have to listen to it more, because tomorrow I might be talking about another aspect of it and be more hopeful.
Well, I feel like I don't hear nobody doing anything to actually make a black bank become a reality again. You do know we did have a black credit union, right? Mm-hmm. Over in Avondale.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people didn't support it, including black organizations and black churches, and so this ain't no new concept. But what I don't hear on the radio and on the podcast, and I don't hear people saying, you know what, we need to find an expert who can take this black bank idea, for example, and turn it into a reality. Who do we need to talk to make that a reality? I hear a lot of complaining about 3CDC, but I don't hear nobody talking about, you know what, we got a meeting tonight over at such and such recreation center, because we gonna put pen to paper and we gonna come up with a plan on how we get a black 3CDC. And then we're going to have to talk about who do we approach at the city to give them, what do y'all always say, what they give three CDC, what, $50 million
Mm-hmm.
to start or something like that. I don't hear none of that talk. Beyond that, I don't hear them talking about we got to be in place. We know this money is coming down. The vote has happened, and unless the Livingston brothers go in there and put a pin in this and get us an increase from $1.6 billion to $2.6 billion or even more, how we going to be in position to get this money? I don't hear no forward-thinking talk. All I hear is gloom and doom. It ain't nothing we can do. Them white folks going to control the money no matter what we do or no matter what we say. Especially when you got a black city manager and a black majority on city council. It don't make no sense
Don't nobody
to me.
trust you.
Now is the time for Black Cincinnati to be saying we're winners. We got control of everything. And this how we going to bring that money from the city, from the state, from the federal government, and put it in our people's hands. And it troubles me that I don't hear none of this kind of talk. I just hear negativity.
All right. I think I disagree with you. But I think we can address it even more in the days to come.
Thank you.
All right. All right. But I think that there's a place for that. See, here's what happens. Excuse me. I don't know what's. Here's what happens. Oh, hold on. Before I tell y'all, here's what happens. To the person going by this person, I will block you if you don't change that name. And y'all know I'm not into blocking people. You're not saying nothing about me, so it's not personal, but that's just unnecessarily disrespectful. I don't know who you are, but you went out and specifically made a profile for that purpose of just being exceptionally unnecessarily negative. I don't like that. So if I'm going to let it ride for a little bit, but probably in about, I only got about an hour left. After the show, that name will be blocked. You're going to need to make a different profile if you want to access the show and interact. Okay? I don't know who you are, but you're going to need a different name, a different profile to access. That it's just unnecessarily disrespectful for no reason. All right? I don't like it. All right. But all right, here's what I'm saying. Here's what happens. Here's what happens. Because I believe that even voices that people perceive as negative can be positive, right? So, all right, Nate, for example, has a criticism of Wyatt. And Wyatt's a grown A man. You know what I'm saying? He can defend himself. I'm not here to defend. Like I said, I'm not a spokesperson for Wyatt. But what I think happens is people are so averse to criticism, especially when it's they guy, they person. You know what I'm saying? There are people who hate me today because they perceive that I don't like Lincoln Ware. They don't hate me for me. Like, look, there's plenty of reasons to hate me for me. But they don't hate me for me. They hate me because they think I don't like Lincoln Ware or I don't show Lincoln Ware enough respect. So they hate me because they love Lincoln Ware. Right? I think that's a mistake. And to look at it and say, well, he's criticizing Wyatt. I think Wyatt is a smart enough guy to hear what he's saying and to reject the parts that don't apply or the parts that he don't understand. But is it possible that his attempt, whether Wyatt can reject the whole thing, that his attempt is not, I want to tear down Wyatt. That his attempt, and not just him, but I see it all the time, that the attempt is to push you in a better direction or to push us in a better direction. I think that's why he kept saying we're not talking about why we're using him as the example. And so instead of listening and saying, yeah, we could actually use some leaders to do some of this stuff. That is another way to think about it. Y'all know that's always my thing. Y'all know that's why okay, hold on a second. Let's see. No, here. And hold on. See if I have to figure out. See, it's been so long. I don't block people. So I'm trying to go through and figure out, how to do the blockage. Wyatt.
E-Man, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You guys have to excuse me. I'm at the airport, man. So if it gets a little fuzzy or buzzy, it's because of my connection. Sorry about it.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Hey, I actually heard Nate. I think I appreciate Nate, but I think I see where the disconnect is in my conversation. Maybe Nate may have caught today's show from a different perspective of some aftermath of what had already happened, being the sale of the railroad. I call it a land acquisition. It's not really a railroad. It's really more so the land that Cincinnati owns. And I think he took my points. I think if you heard me today for the first time, I can understand why he might feel the way he feels about, well, what do I provide? What have I done? What am I doing? The black bank is not your idea, Wyatt. I'm not suggesting that it was. What I was saying is when Iris Rowley and Damon Lynch and those guys brought the fact that they were going to argue and bring the NAACP in because they were never consulted, my thing was, well, what are we going to do? What is the plan? And what's ironic about that is I heard Nate say the same thing. Like, y'all coming to the table, but y'all don't have no plans. I mean, what does reparations look like? The idea that I had heard no one talking about with the railroad was, why don't they allocate $400 million towards black banking in the Cincinnati area so it will be a revolving door of economic power? So I wasn't suggesting that I'm the only one that came up with an idea and black banking is the answer. That's not what I was suggesting. I said it on my show one time about a month ago, but that was only because if you're going to be Iris Rowley and Damon Lynch and them guys, I wasn't criticizing them. I just know from a business perspective, just coming out saying what you want is not good enough. You have to put something in writing, have a business plan, have a proposal. So if it gets rejected, now you even have more power, you have more receipts of saying, hey, this is what we came to the table with. So what Nate heard me say today, it sounded like he took my comments as a little elitist, or like I was trying to tell people, you know how he just said, like, well, what are you doing and what are you doing? What I've done for the community is totally different than anything that we're talking about right now. I've committed my own money. That's a whole nother conversation. Let's keep it to what he was saying I wasn't hitting the targets on. And that was ideas of how black people can prosper from the sale of the railroad. Did you get that from what I was talking about, E?
Now, I understood, and I had to admit I was like 60% paying attention to you because there's some guy on here I'm trying to figure out how to block while I'm having this conversation with you. But no, I do.
I go through the same thing.
Yeah, I do. I understand what you're saying.
And I appreciate you coming to my aid or my defense, but like you said, I'm a grown man. I'm going to say what I have to say. Look, I've always respected what Nate's a stand-up dude for his points and his principles. I get it. But because we may not, agree on the same thing all the time, I don't discredit him. okay? And I would hope that he wouldn't discredit me. So when I say I'm going to show you how to get to the money, anybody that watches my show, we're not gloom and doom. We're far from that. I say we get up, dust ourselves off, and let's go get to the money. It's just the way I go get to the money is a different conversation than what you hear on radio or podcast. That's what I always say that. And that's how I carry myself about it. That's what I say. So when he calls in and he says that, you know, basically what he was saying is, you know, well, what do you do? What can you do? And then he kind of discredited my ideas, but no one else was talking about those ideas. I was making a suggestion because that's all you could do. City council wasn't coming forward and talking to the black community. That private board that's put together wasn't coming up and talking to the black community. They gave the NAACP and Damon Lynch and all them an apology. That's because they were never part of the equation. What was going to happen was going to happen. So what I said on the air was, well, wait a minute. If you really want a form of a reparation, put it in something like a bank so it'll always be here. You know, and look, I wasn't saying start a bank. I named several banks from different cities, black-owned banks, that you can allocate. You can bring that resource to the city of Cincinnati. They'll do mortgages. They'll do car loans. They'll do education loans. They'll do SBA loans. I was just looking for a way of revolving the black dollar and using that railroad money to be able to do it. That's what my idea was. But to sit back and say I didn't put a proposal together, or I'm trying to be some type of whiz kid of talking about black banks, that wasn't what it was. That's not what I was going after. I was trying to give an idea because Damon Lynch and them are talking about reparations. And I'm saying that if you really want those folks to listen, because they're not paying attention to reparations. They're not paying attention to that. So why don't you come with something that's has a little bit more substance that the community can actually benefit from? And that was my idea with the black bank. So I think what Nate did was take this one-time conversation and he defined my whole point. And he made it more like, well, what are you going to do? What have you done? And, you know, you're a sideline cheerleader for the whole move and the whole movement. And what's ironic about that is I actually heard Nate say something too. And I think you and I had a conversation about what does reparations look like. I mean, you got to have some form of a plan of what you're going to do with the money. If give them a proposal of, you know, like this is what we would use the money for. And that's kind of the position that I took. I'm shocked that Nate kind of took what I said out of context or made it seem like that I, you know, wasn't saying anything that had any substance. I'm shocked because he agreed on the railroad, but he sees the money that the city going to get as a benefit for the black community. But I'm asking the black community, the Iris Rowleys and Damon Lynch's, do they feel like that money, the interest that's coming from that money, is going to benefit, you know, the black community?
But
because
now
I don't think the black community. Last thing, I'm sorry. I don't think the black community sees the parks and the roads and the potholes as a come up for them. I don't think that, and the firehouses. I don't think that seems to be some. I don't think that they feel like they're getting anything as the black community for that.
I agree. But now, and again, I'm not a spokesperson for Nate Livingston either. And he can kind of talk for himself. But see, I think what people have to understand is I want to say his position is kind of a simple one. If you are kind of putting yourself out there as a leader, a thought leader, you know, financial leader, a person, you know, who can make things happen, then start making things happen and not just say like he told me one day, you know, being mad ain't a plan. You know, being frustrated is not a plan. Saying we need to do something is not a plan. Saying we need a plan is not a plan. And so I think his intent, and again, I'm not his spokesperson, he can speak for himself, but I think his intent is, if you say you out here teaching people how to get to the money, then where is your plan? Otherwise, don't say you teaching people how to get to the money, which again, I think goes to his, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to, I heard what you said about that. And like I said, you took a good position on my defense. I appreciate it. And I think there's a disconnect on when I say I'm showing people how to get to the money. I'm not showing people how to get to the railroad money. I've never really said that pertaining to the railroad money. The only time I gave a suggestion, it was a suggestion where if the leaders in Cincinnati who have already formed their organizations, who come to the radio stations and the podcast and talk about their positions, I was making a suggestion to them. I said $400 million committed out of that $1.6 billion, $400 million committed to black banking. I mean, there's 12 black banks in the Midwest you can choose from. $400 million would get them location with $300 million worth of capital to work with. That's a lot of money to bring into a black economy of Cincinnati. I was bringing that idea to the table for the organizations that already exist, because those organizations was bringing what to the table? What was their suggestions on getting some of the money? Reparations. That was the conversation. But I was bringing something that I felt would be a little bit different other than just reparations. You understand what I'm saying, E?
I do.
Something that would bring more of an economic, spark to the community of Cincinnati for black folks. So I never said, well, I should start this black bank or we should start a black bank. It was never a ground floor level suggestion. It was something that's already in existence that you can bring to the area. And with that kind of capital, with that kind of money, there's banks that would entertain coming in. And now you have some, I don't know. Nate said something about there used to be a black credit union. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if it was during a time that was important that black folks really looked at maybe at that particular time. I don't know what year it was.
No, it wasn't. It was a while ago, and some shenanigans went on. It was local, and some shenanigans went on, and it went under.
So maybe it didn't have the support that it needed. Maybe it had bad leadership. Maybe it had great leadership, and people didn't support it. I don't know. I don't know the circumstances. But my point to it all is, I think we are conscious now as a community to understand the economics. When we're throwing around billions of dollars as a country to other countries, I think black folks are getting a little pissed off about that. And we're not really seeing any of that money come into what we call black economics. Think about it, E. You can go to a lot of cities across this country, and these other foreign folks who migrate here, they have their own section of these communities. Chinatown, Greek town, Italian town, Asian town, all of that. And we never really have a black town that's economically ran by black dollar. And that's what you really need if you're going to turn the black dollar over. You have to have something that we buy into that's predominantly for black people, ran by black people. And my suggestion was when Iris Rowley and them was talking, I don't think they got offended by what I said. I don't even know. But I just think that if you want to bring a plan to the table, maybe they can orchestrate that, put that in their plan other than just saying reparations for black folks, because what does that look like for Cincinnati? What does reparations look like? I know what black banking can possibly look like.
And again, why I understand what you're saying, but I think his position is, okay, all of that sounds good, but you can't criticize Wyatt. I mean, you can't criticize, Rowley Lynch and, the activists out there for saying that. If you've got a thought, then maybe, and again, this is just because I'm not him. I can't speak for him, just like I couldn't speak for you. Maybe then you can help them formulate a plan. Maybe then that's your role, as opposed to just putting it out in the atmosphere, hoping that they'll latch on to it. If you know it to be a thing that can be done, then maybe you come and you help formulate the plan. And I think, here's what I think. Everybody trying to do the same thing. Like you, and again, this is a lot of me speculating. You trying to educate people and push them into motion on the tip that you believe to be the wisest tip to do. He's trying to do the same thing. He's trying to say, like, hey, if you got a good idea, just having a good idea is not a plan. Formulate a plan. And everybody's trying to push everybody into motion. And it's frustrating when you don't see the motion happen.
Let me just say this. I didn't even I didn't see what Nate said about me, other than maybe he don't like the show because of what he heard today, and then he's never heard me talk about get to the money. I understand that. I understand that sometimes you got to taste things more than one time to really get the true taste. I get that. I'm not offended by that. Matter of fact, the more he talked, the more I understood exactly where the disconnect was. He thought that I was somewhat criticizing, Damon Lynch and Iris Rowley and them, when in fact I simply wasn't. And anybody that would listen to the show constantly or just a few times listening to that point, they would clearly see that I never criticized them. I was always on their team. Matter of fact, I went on the record saying I'm with what they're doing. I'm with them. I believe that we need some form of a reparations, but what does reparations look like to us? And I brought the idea to the table. Reparations could be more like banking and bringing in black banking. I never, not one time, criticized their position. Matter of fact, I stood strong with them. Anybody that watches my show knows that I went strong with them. I was like, yeah, I'm with them. I'm with them because nobody came in. Now, the gloom and doom, the real stuff that I said was this. There's a reason why NAACP was not notified about this acquisition. There's a reason why the black leadership like Damon Lynch and them wasn't notified. Now, if they want to get offended for how I feel about why they weren't notified, then they just gonna have to be mad at me. But the true fact, the reason why they wasn't notified is because they didn't matter, and that's the truth. If they mattered and the city cared what their opinions was of the NAACP and all that, they would have been sought out. Somebody would have reached out and asked them what they feel about it. But they didn't do that. So that lets me know that they had no factor in the decision if it was going to sell or not. We're going to put it in the voters' hands. So that was the only criticism that I had, but it wasn't to NAACP nor Iris Rowley and Damon Lynch and them guys. That's why I stood with them, because they're actually right. They're right. You can't tell me that other railroads in this country haven't been sold and there's been deals set aside for reparations in those areas. But all I'm saying is, in the Cincinnati area, what does reparations look like? My suggestion, without going out and getting a bank myself, without going out and organizing it all, I took it to the people that are already organized. And just like you and anybody else that has a podcast, it takes a level of organization to do what we do. And we throw out ideas, we throw out suggestions, and because we make those ideas and suggestions, don't mean we have to lead them.
All right. Now, Wyatt, before you go, I want you to check your text messages. I just sent you it.
Wait a minute. Okay, you sent me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll admit it on the air. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told E-Man to invite me yesterday on his show, but E-Man knows what that invite consists of, and it's basically so I can hit a link to join his show.
Right.
Now, let me tell y'all where he sent it. He sent it to the moon. He didn't send it to me.
Oh, my goodness.
No, listen. I'm looking at my email. Now, here's the thing, bro. I can't accept that from my email. I have to have my studio up. So I don't want to make up an excuse because you don't understand the difference between excuses and taking accountability. I'm not making up an excuse. I'm just telling you that where you sent it, I couldn't pull it up. You know how it is. When we do King and I, our systems are set up.
Right, but hold on. But the email that I sent it to is the email that we share the link for King and I. It's the same email.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You and I both know you're a little bit more technical. You're more savvy than I am with these computers and this audio video stuff. Okay, it's not my forte. It is yours. I'm gonna let the audience. I'm gonna remind them of something. When E and I did King and I on a location spot, isn't that what it's called when we go out and do a live broadcast or something? A location spot?
No, but that's fine.
What is it called?
It's just a live broadcast or a remote broadcast.
Remote. I was thinking remote. I'm sorry, not whatever I said. When we did that, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you how E did it. E brought everything. It looked like the Cincinnati Jazz Festival was about to happen. He had monitors. He had 15 cameras. He had a truckload full of wires and cameras and all type of stuff. And
shoes.
I appreciate you.
It was shoes in there too.
Went hard, and I was lost in the sauce of the audio video portion of it. But that all being said, I appreciate your time. Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought Nate was gonna be on some different stuff, but now that he talks, I clearly see where we're off, where the disconnect is. He's thinking that I'm talking about showing people how to get to the railroad money, and that's not what I was talking about when I said I'm here to show people how to get to the money. Because, look, he said something. He said there's no podcast or no radio stations that talk about getting licensed LLCs and things of that nature. Y'all might want to check with some of the Wire Live family because that's what we talk about over there. That's exactly what we talk about. We're not gloom and doom. The only time I talk gloom and doom is after fact. If something happens and I don't see how we're going to attach ourselves to some money because it's gone, then I say, that's over with. But this is what we can do. This is what we can do. And I think where he may have listened to the show today, he's listening to after the sale of the railroad. And I think he should have listened to some of the conversations we had prior to the sale, and he would have understood that my position was, if y'all going to sell the railroad and NAACP and Damon Lynch and them guys want to get involved, if they want to take something to the table of how they can get some of that money, don't propose it in reparations. Propose it in using $400 million to do black banking. And then that would be some of the stuff that when Alicia Reese brings things to the table, it would have been just as powerful as some of the information that she's given. Because, bro, we giving our money to Fifth Third and PNC banks and Wells Fargo's and these car dealerships, and we could have left all that money in-house. So I appreciate you for taking my call, E-Man. And like I said, I don't think Nate said anything. He didn't say anything to offend me, but I think the disconnect was he thought that I was on some criticism stuff when, in fact, all I was talking about is what I had already prior talked about, but it was in a different content. Or a different way. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
But look, you said it. You handled it like you really defended me in a sense where you didn't sound like you were on either side. I think you just tried to explain it in a matter that maybe he misunderstood what I was saying. And then Nate probably thought that he had it all figured out just on one conversation, and it don't happen like that all the time.
Wyatt, I appreciate your call.
Thank you, brother.
All right. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board if you'd like to. See, I like the idea that people pushing people. I know y'all don't like that. Like, oh no, he's a hater. Oh no, people pushing people is like a tried and true method of getting stuff cracking. You know what I'm saying? People have to push people because people either get comfortable. I genuinely believe that there's an honest, like he said, disconnect, an honest misunderstanding. But some of us just be way too our heels dug into our person, into our guy, into our side. And I see it happen with so much stuff. Again, that's the reason why I keep bringing up Republicans and Democrats. Because we do have people who try to convince people to, dig your heels into one side or let go of that side and grab onto this side. But people need to push people. Let me grab this line. Twin.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, sir? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Barely.
Hold on, cuz. Hold on.
All right, cuz.
Hey, you hear me?
Yes.
I thought that was you earlier playing. I think that was you though. Calling in earlier on Lincoln Ware thinking you Dave Stinger.
No. I didn't call Lincoln Ware Show. I am not Dave Stinger.
And it sure sound like it.
People keep saying that. I don't hear it.
Well, if you go back and do the replay, I probably just sound like. Hey, guess what, man? I'm going to church tonight. You want to go?
I'm actually going to church tonight.
What church you going to?
The one that I normally attend.
What's that?
It's a church.
I know it's a church. What's the name of the church?
I'm not. Why do you want to know? I might answer you. Why do you want to know?
It's not being a smart, but whatever. I just want to know what church.
But why? Why do you want to know?
I'm just asking, is it a Baptist church, a Catholic church, or what church is it?
But again, I'm just asking a simple question. Why do you want to know?
Maybe I want to join you, see how y'all congregation
But that's
is.
what I'm asking now. You can't say maybe. You know why you want to know, so I'm asking you, why do you want to know?
Sarcastic or none of
I
that,
don't
no
think you
comedian
are.
joke.
I'm just asking, why do you want to know?
I just want to know.
Why?
I just want to know what church you go to.
No,
We got to go through this.
It's got to be a reason why you want to know. All I'm asking is, why do you want to know?
I'm just asking what church you go to.
But why are you asking? There's a reason that, see, the fact that you can't tell me why you want to know is disturbing.
It's not disturbing when you just can't tell. Tell me what church you go to.
No. See, here, if I ask you a question, Twin, how much money do you make a year? You be like, and you be like,
I'll tell you that because that'll be too personal.
And you like, why do you want to know? And I'm like, I just want to know. And you're like, but no, why do you want to know how much money I make a year? Well, I'm just asking. You might tell me, but you might not.
I might tell you, I might not. It depends on how I feel. It's all right, man, y'all make $150,000 now. What?
And it kind of depends on why I want to know.
I'm just asking a simple question.
But
what church
why?
You go to, man?
Why do you want to know?
I was just asking.
All right.
I was just asking.
I'm not comfortable sharing with you.
Bro. Hey, he made a good point though, man. I'm gonna ask Raven because she get him on the show. He was making a good point about everything and stuff, black banks and why this and why that. He wasn't, being disrespectful to no one of some. You got people out there feel some type of way, but that guy, why I never met him, but I, used to hear about him a little bit. But I think he made a good point about why Cincinnati this and everything else. Because if you look at it, man, from the stories I hear from this city, man, y'all been messed up for a long time. And y'all been promised reparations and all this. And they only give people here in Cincinnati the crumb, black people and everything. Just like he said, you got Jewish community, Chinatown, Germantown, Jewtown, whatever town they got. But we ain't got nothing. A pot to piss in, and like the old folks say, a window to throw it out. That's all we got, man. And it's a shame before God how things happen around us. Not just Cincinnati, I'll say around the world too. That everything was promised us. Oh, we'll build a better housing, affordable housing for y'all and everything else. How is it that's affordable housing when that house costs $300,000? That's not affordable housing. That's a setup. Because we ain't going to pay for it. And our rent going to be late. Ain't nothing but a setup, but, I pray to God things come together for all of us, man. Because we've been down for this for 400 years, still waiting on that 40 acres in the mill. Only thing they giving us is straight horses and hogs. All right, man, you have a blessed weekend, you and the listeners, man. And I'll keep on listening, man.
All right, Twin. And think about why you want to know. And the next time, let me know why you want to know.
I just wanted to know, man. I was just, because I was brought up Church of God in Christ. I'll go to a Pentecostal church or whatever, but I would just want to know what would you Baptist or Catholic or whatever your religion was.
I don't.
Maybe I want to attend and see how.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I subscribe to any of the denominations.
What you mean,
fully.
Subscribe? You're a member of anything?
Well,
whatever your religion, your faith, or whatever.
But that's
your
what I'm
belief.
saying. I
say you're a spiritual person. You still you learning, trying to get the understanding about this religion.
No, I think I got it. That's why I'm not like, oh, I'm Baptist. Baptist is the way to go. No, Catholic is the way to go. All of that stuff is just stuff.
Man-made stuff.
Yeah.
In your eyes.
Yeah.
Just say you just spiritual then.
If you want to say that, sure.
But you do believe it. You believe it's a heaven and hell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering, because some people don't believe it. I don't believe in that stuff. We already in hell. Well, hell's, I'm pretty sure, 10 times hotter than what we standing on right now. Worse than that lava volcano that's come out to California, whatever.
Yeah, it is much worse.
Right. So it can't get no hotter. All right, man. Be safe, man.
All right, man. I appreciate the call. Yeah. I believe that. I believe that. I just want to know why. Why would you want to know? I know, like somebody said, most people are, like really excited to just throw out what church they go to. But at the same time, I'm not even going to say it. It's making me laugh and it's not funny. But yeah, you should. It's important to know why people want to know stuff that they know. There's a reason. There's a reason. Especially, what I'm saying, some stuff it's just conversation. You're just talking this conversation. No real reason. Why'd you ask me that? No real reason. We was just chatting. I just figured I'd throw it out there. But then when it come back 5, 6, 7 times in different arenas and different conversations, and you're like, hold on, why do you want to know that? Why? You really trying to show up at church and run up in me? No, I told you, no. I'm just saying, twin, I need to know why. Some people, what I'm saying, can ask me that, and I would just tell them that this church. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Some people, you gotta know why. 513-717-5464. That is the number to get on board. I saw drop in here. And did he, because I would have to go back through all of these, and y'all were paying attention, I hope. Maybe y'all read his comment. Did he tell me why he asked me the question that feels like a nonsense question? Are black people more important in 2024 than they were in 2016? Did he tell me why he asked that question? Mary says worser is not a word. Worst and more worse. And the most worstest. Come on. Don't act like you don't know. Why you acting like you don't know? No. You just act like you don't know. Don't act like you don't know. Worser. You go from bad to worse. From worse to worsest. And from worsest to the most worser. Everybody know that. Everybody know that. Y'all just be pretending. Well, there was something that I wanted to talk about today. I can't remember what it was. I've enjoyed the conversation thus far. I would say I'm going to take it upon myself to get Nate and Wyatt together. But I'm too grown, man. But here's what I will tell you. My personal belief. If I put them on the phone together and they started talking, when they hung up the phone finally, they would both like agree with each other. Like, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I don't know who got the higher voice and who got the lower voice. I think they would end up agreeing. But I like people challenging people inside. Like if we all, I know one thing Wyatt likes to do, he likes to use the sports analogies. So if we all on the same team and I need you to do something, you know what I'm saying, to help the team win, I don't just sit back and, not say nothing. Hold on. You keep talking about we need to get better, but why don't you shoot the shot when you open? You wide open. Why will you not take the shot? And I need you to turn to me, accept that, and then you turn to me and say, okay, but when he wide open and you being guarded, why do you not pass the ball? He's wide open. Why are you forcing up shots when you are blanketed? Why don't you pass it to him? And we all continually push each other to get better. And nobody mad at the other guy. Oh, he telling me to shoot. Who he is to tell me to shoot? Shut up. I've been doing this long enough. I don't need you to tell me what to do. No. We all push each other to be better. Let the other people who, because people on the outside, they gonna do what they do. That team falling apart, blah, blah, blah. No, you just, well, that's my favorite player. Why is he criticizing my favorite player? Maybe he's trying to push him towards greatness. So I'm with it. I'm with it. All the way. But hold on, let me deal with Ramaswamy. Let me deal with Ramaswamy. He was making excuses. Why I say he wasn't making excuses. But when he talked about why the Republicans are losing, see, all that other criticism was just other criticism. He running for whatever he running for, because he's really not running for, to become the nominee to become president. The criticism that he levied against Nikki Haley was a criticism against Nikki Haley. You criticize me for being on Twitch, but your daughter is on Twitch. I actually thought that's fair. It is not out of bounds. I think it is 100% relevant. You can't criticize me for doing it as if to say being on Twitch is bad, but your own daughter is on Twitch. Biatch, control your daughter. If you can't tell your own daughter to stay off Twitch, you can't tell me. I know they were talking about TikTok, but I'm using Twitch. If you can't tell your own daughter to stay off Twitch, how you gonna criticize me for being, I'm bad for being on it? That's just a legitimate criticism. But he claimed that the reason why the Republicans are losing is because of the chair of the party. That was when that came up. I'm not going to be this kind of Republican, blah, blah, blah. He didn't say we losing because we're taking money from these people, because he know that's not why they losing. People don't really care about that. People know that stuff. People know that when Republicans or when politicians get in office, they be broke. And then once they've been in there for 10, 15 years, they be multimillionaires, and they didn't become multimillionaires off of their salary. People, they may not think about it, but they understand and they know that, there's something in the game that they doing to, stack up all that money. And there are multiple ways that they do that. But he's not saying that's the reason why Republicans are losing, because he know they're all doing that. So if that's the reason Republicans are losing, wouldn't that be the same reason that Democrats couldn't win? But Democrats are winning. Just, for right now. No, his point was we're losing because the chair of the party is making us a loser. That's not addressing the reason why the party is losing. That's like going out there, Wyatt, saying, you know what? At halftime, we losing the game. Why are we losing the game? Because he our coach. I'm sorry, could it have something to do with the fact that you done dropped 6 passes that would have been touchdowns? Could it have something to do with that? No, it's because he the coach. That's an excuse. Now, his bad coaching might be a part of why you're losing, but it ain't the why. What about y'all positions on things that affect America? That's why y'all losing. Because y'all, to a large degree, are outwardly, that's why I said they're overtly certain things. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think the Democrats love women so much that they care about their body autonomy. I don't believe that whatsoever. But they look at the polls and they look at America and they like, all right, America is down with abortion, or at the very least, America want women to be able to make their own decisions. So guess what our position as a whole is going to be? Women should be able to make their own decisions. That's my position. Hold on, but that may or may not have been your position before. Remember when Barack Obama was against gay marriage? Barack Obama, he had won too. He looked at them polls and he said, hold on. If I don't switch my position, I might not win next time. Whether or not he actually changed his mind, I don't know. But he certainly changed his position publicly. I think that's what happens. That's what the Democrats are doing. Well, this is our public opinion. And Republicans, y'all, that's one of the reasons why y'all losing. It ain't because of the coach. The kind of those fundamentals. Blocking, tackling, running, catching, throwing. We can't block. Gonna be hard to win. Maybe not impossible, but it's gonna be hard. We can't tackle. Oh, let's not address we can't block and we can't tackle. Let's just say it's because of the coach. If the coach ain't teaching you how to block and tackle, but if you can't even acknowledge that you can't block and tackle, how you gonna win? So if you can't acknowledge we got a bad position as it relates to the mindset of the American people on abortion, we got a bad position as it relates to the American people on this election denying. We got a bad position on what rights we think people should have. We got a bad position on, what our team looks like in leadership. We got a bad position on whether or not our people believe that we should honor the Constitution. We got a bad position on that. And that could be why you can't win. No. It's because of the chair of the party. So he didn't say all of that stuff. He was making excuses. He's making excuses. After a loss, he comes out. And just imagine that. Y'all love the Bengals because y'all love the NFL, even though they don't like black people. Man, you say they don't like black people. You know how many black people playing in the NFL? Okay, they don't like black people that's going to stand up for themselves. All right. If after the Bengals lose, the most annoying Bengal, you say what you want to say, that damn Ramaswamy is annoying. I know a little something about being annoying, and he is annoying. So the most annoying Bengal get up and they say, oh man, you guys lost. Why did y'all lose? Because he's our coach. Everybody would be like, what in the world? That's why y'all lost? So yeah, I just, He is an unlikable guy. He's an unlikable guy. There is a certain something about him. I can't put my finger on it. That's why I did last Friday. Wasn't I asking y'all, like, what is it about me? He takes whatever it is about me and increased it exponentially. He's annoying and unlikable. That's just the truth. It is. Now, it might be, that might be his persona. You might get to know the guy. And then once you actually get to know the guy, you're like, he's really a likable guy. And when I hear people say that about Trump, part of me be like, you know how we used to do. I can't do it. Like, no, stop playing. Stop playing. He is not likable. He is not likable. But then you hear so many people who know him be like, no, he's very charismatic and he's very likable. Y'all know I experienced that. I do. I experienced that. I experienced people who be like, he's a good guy, or, he's whatever, once you get to know him. Other people just be like, oh, I hate him. So I understand he might be a likable guy once you get to know him. But until then, not a likable guy. That's just the truth. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get out of here. I got stuff to do. I do have to actually run over to the church. And I got the little baby upstairs. As long as I can hear her kind of moving around and stuff, if she need anything, she'll let me know. Well, now she'll text me. But I want to get up there. Just make sure everything is all right before we walk out the door. Hold on, let me see if I can get her to come down here. Hold on. I have to text her. I have to text her. Oh, this is terrible. I got to text her when she upstairs. She can't hear me. I muted y'all because I don't want to, be hollering in the mic. Is that it? Y'all would prefer me to not mute y'all so y'all can hear me scream really loud? What in the world? How is she not responding? How is she not responding? Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's do this. Did she just hang up on me? Did she just? I think she just hung up on me. Hold on, it's ringing. Daryl, she is absolutely fine. She up there playing some game and she don't want to come down here. I know what is going on. I know what's happening. So now I'm gonna have to go up there and choke her. Yeah, Barry, she busy. I know exactly what's happening. She busy. Yes, Janice, she is ignoring me. She is actively ignoring me. And it is not funny. It is not funny. But I had to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I really do. I'm trying to do some scrolling. See, I'm trying to talk and do all of this at the same time. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. As you're out and about this weekend, as always, be the reason somebody smiles every single day this weekend. Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.